them are more than pals.
Our show can be a little gay,
But if you're not,
that's okay.
you can listen and have fun either way. Xena, Star Wars, Doctor Who, guests and music and reviews. Game of Thrones, Winona too. We promise there's something for you. She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
Hello and welcome to the She Nerds Out podcast. I'm Kat.
I'm Wendy. And this is Tara.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about episode 3 of Last of Us. It's called Long, Long Time, and it's very gay. We also have a mail sack, and that's kind of it. But first, hey there, Wendy Woody. Can you tell me what day it is?
Yeah, it's the day that you very casually just said, we're going to talk about episode 3 of Last of Us because it was very gay. I feel like there's so much more emotional heart-rendering than there are, like, emotion that goes into talking about that episode.
Well, we're going to talk
later.
about it.
That
Yes.
was my,
I know, but it
that was my
just
short
felt
version.
so casual. Anyway, for an episode that depressed me and made me listen to the same song over and over for like 2 days. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. February 7th. I want all of you to take note of this. It's called National Send a Card to a Friend Day.
Oh.
People like getting cards and letters. Like, I know I have a whole drawer full of like those charity cards, like from like ASPCA and stuff, where they send
Yeah.
you cards, cute cards. I need to send them. I need to send them. The 8th is National Kite Flying Day, otherwise known as Flying Parchment Day. Go fly your parchment.
That's one of my favorite Xena episodes where they fly the parchment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mine
And it
too.
whacks her on the head.
it's
Good
a
one.
classic.
Isn't it though?
Mhm.
You're flying parchment stuck in a tree. The 9th. I love this day. National Pizza Day. Mamma mia, get the pizza.
I'm having pizza tonight.
Oh, how
Be vegan
appropriate.
You're
Pizza.
early.
Yep.
You're early.
Oh, that's right.
Here's a day we
Celebrating
never celebrate here, National Umbrella Day. Let's keep the sun out of your face.
that.
Otherwise.
Exciting.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Exciting week.
Yeah, it is an exciting week. There's a lot of things happening. The 11th is National Make a Friend Day.
Wow.
You'll make a friend. That's all I got. Oh wait, Galentine's Day, because we're going to be a day after Galentine's Day next week. Happy
Oh,
Galentine's
Galentine's
Day.
That's a good one.
Oh,
That is a good one.
when is that?
The
Oh,
13th.
it's the 13th, of course.
Day
Yeah.
before that other day that I didn't get around. But Galentine's Day. Happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day.
Do
Not to
Leslie
mention-
Nope proud.
Yes.
And
That's awesome.
go out with your friends.
Galentine.
Well, speaking
And tell
of,
them, send
And
them a
then-
card and tell them how much you love them. You just have to say that. Yeah.
that's nice.
That's a good way to tie them all together.
Speaking of gals, we have some gals on this show. One of those gals is a stretch. One of those gals was recently on another podcast.
Hey,
Tara,
gal.
our very
Oh.
own Tara
Oh.
was on. You're surprised? Was on RT Sidebar, which you talked about before you recorded, and then you teased it after you finished it. I listened to it.
Whoa.
I listened to the
Wow.
whole thing, every little
Wow.
minute of it. And you
Thank
talked
you.
about a lot of. I did enjoy it. I don't know that you believe me, but I did enjoy it.
Well, it's about
because-
healthcare. It's not like
Right.
nerds or fun. It's not like a fun. I wouldn't say it's like right in line with this podcast topic.
If that's your interest, it might be.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about like my day job, I'd say. Yeah, so
Of course. And what I like listening to my friends talk about their day jobs because it's something that it's a part of them that you don't get to see normally.
Yeah.
And that it was really interesting to see this side of you, Tara, and I thought it was really interesting. And you, the co-host, kept everything very entertaining and up and lively. It was an interesting listen. I enjoyed it.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad.
I learned all about HCAP.
HCAPS, yes.
HCAPS. I learned about what a top box is.
Yeah,
It's a
nice.
fun one. And many times on this show, you have said how much you like a good apology, and that is something that obviously carries over from your work life. The power of I'm sorry. It was really fun to be like, oh, that's where that comes from. So that was really
Yes.
fun.
Yes, the origin story of that.
I love an origin story. So it was a cool listen, and in the spirit of that, I'm sorry that you experienced the Cowboys losing.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kat, for both of us.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Wendy, I'm
That's
sorry that
nice.
you experienced the Cowboys losing as well.
Thanks. That's nice of you. I appreciate your effort to make me feel better. Wendy, what did you think about the podcast?
I think I'll like it very much when I listen.
Oh, you haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
I'm
I
so
see.
sorry. I'm sorry. I've been distracted by life. and
Okay, that's
things.
fine.
So where's the link?
Oh, well, that's true. I did not post the link yet,
How did
but you
you
can
find it, Kat?
find it.
I Googled the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I did
Okay,
mention the name of
come
the
on.
podcast. Yeah, if
Come
it's
on,
on
that's
anywhere you
extra
listen to
effort.
podcasts, because it was like a live web thing that they just make into also a podcast. So it's called RT Sidebar.
Okay.
So
I'll
anywhere
listen.
you listen to podcasts, just like this show, if you're listening to this show, you just type it in the search bar, RT Sidebar, and it'll pop up there. And if I'm not the newest one, then I'm the one right before it. So there you go.
I think
How long was it?
It's about
It's an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll listen.
And also, and I told you this in our throuple text, Tara, do you know you have a really good radio voice?
Oh, thanks.
I listen to it all the time, but it was nice to listen to it and not have to edit it. At the same time.
And not have listened to me say the same things over
Right,
and over again
exactly.
already.
Oh, you got a great voice. You do too, Wendy.
Well, we sound clearly almost identical, apparently. So
It's completely not true. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it.
thanks. Thanks for the listen.
You're
Go
welcome.
check it out.
Yes, I encourage people to do that. RT Sidebar, wherever you can find podcasts.
But we did something a little more up the alley of this podcast this last weekend. Well, 2 out of the 3 of us did. One of us
Yeah.
did not show up. And this time it was Kat that did not participate.
Had a thing.
We, meaning Wendy and I, not Kat, and a couple of other people,
Hitting
we
it
went
hard.
to the Warrior Nun Billboard meetup in
We
Hollywood.
did. We saw a billboard and other.
We
do y'all have a name yet? Is there an official
they're the
name?
Halo Bears.
The Halo Bears.
I thought it
That's
was
right.
I thought it was Habit Heads.
No, that's what you say.
Halo Bearers. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
I knew that.
I'll write that down.
There were quite a few
So-
people there.
There was like 45
Yeah.
to 50 people there.
Oh shit, that's huge.
Yeah. So we went to the Billboard, which is placed in Hollywood across from the Netflix headquarters.
Mhm.
And
where there was
KTLA. I wish I'd known they
Yes.
were right there. They could have come out and
a-
got some footage.
yeah, it was strategically placed. It's also right there by the 101 freeway. So yeah, it's a good location. And they said, hey, we're going to have a meetup. It's going to be up there for 4 weeks. So anyone living in LA that wants to come see the Billboard, a lot of people said, hey, I want to go down and see it. And they said, let's have a meetup. See, we all kind of want to meet each other, maybe go out afterwards, just kind of hang out. And so it kind of became this thing that kept getting bigger. And some people said, hey, I might fly in for it. The people that we had on our show, Sarah and Kelsey, who organized the GoFundMe and the campaign that's ongoing, and the Billboard was one of the things that came out of that campaign. They ended up flying. So we got to meet them. They flew in. They're there on Saturday. So we met a couple of Snop listeners. And one
I
of
did wear
them
my
had,
Snop shirt. So
Yeah.
they saw the Snop shirt and they
Oh,
came up
that's
and said
great.
hello. Mhm.
yes, one of them flew from Chicago.
Yes.
Was there with her daughter. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I think there were quite a few people that had flown in or driven in. And yeah, there ended up being, I thought there was going to be like 20 people max. But yeah, I counted 45 at one
Wow.
point, and then I know more people showed up because I was kind of towards the beginning. So
That's great. That's huge.
yeah, and then we all stood on the corner, kind of because we couldn't stand on the actual corner of the Billboard because it's there's not enough room. So we had to stand on the corner of the Netflix building. So the Netflix security guards were there making sure we weren't. We could
They
be
were
on
eyeballing
the
us.
sidewalk, but we could not be
In the
sitting
bushes.
in the bushes of the Netflix or anywhere on the property.
I see.
And they're fine. They weren't, they were just standing there.
The security guards were, I don't think they were watching for anything like dangerous. They were just like, what are these people up to? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
they
it
were
was-
they were just fascinated more than
Yeah.
concerned.
Right. Not often is probably there a group of people out there. So, we had shirts. There were shirts made. Save Warrior Nun
I
shirts.
saw those. That's cute.
So, we took a big group picture outside of the Netflix building with the billboard in the background. And then it just kind of became a hangout. There were some croissants. There were some
Yeah,
There
there
was
were snacks.
croissants.
Yeah, some
Yes.
snacks.
Damn it.
Just kind
I
of,
missed a meal.
I'd say, like loitering outside the Netflix.
Organized loitering with
And
t-shirts.
Organized loitering with t-shirts. Yeah.
I love
So
it.
yeah, and it kind of became like, well, what you can't really go do something with all 45 to 50 people, right?
Sure.
To accommodate not.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So yeah, so we kind of at that point just kind of broke off into whatever you wanted to. There's talk. Some people want to go to the beach. I wasn't going to do that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go to the beach. I'm not. People visiting that wanted to go
Yeah,
do. It's
Out of
like
towners.
you go do it. I'm not. I know how far the beach is from Hollywood. I'm not going to go to the beach. Sandy, you know how I feel about the beach.
Yeah,
I
you
think
don't
I've
like-
talked about it
I
on
gotta
the
put
show.
that I forgot it should be on the list.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Put
The
me on.
beach.
Put
It's a
me
whole
down
thing.
too. I
Okay.
like it okay, but not making a lot of.
And I'm like-
I'd rather go to a harbor.
By the time we got done with the loitering, it was almost, it was 4, and I'm like, by the time you get to the beach from here, it's gonna be dark. So
Yeah, because I don't think there was not a movement to leave anytime soon. They were
No.
still going when we
They
left.
were
We left early.
hanging.
We were hungry. So
Yeah, we were
needed
hungry.
to go.
we met some people that I believe were mutual friends of yours, Kat.
It's
Yeah.
You were not there, but it felt like you were kind of there in spirit in a way.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, and they were lovely, and we had a great time without you, though you were missed.
Wow.
No offense.
So
yeah, we
you're-
did talk about you in a good way.
Oh,
We talked
sure.
about how awesome you are.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so about 10 of us went out for food after. And yeah, we went to Birds in Hollywood, which is right down the street, much
Oh,
more
Okay,
reasonable.
great.
And yeah, we had a great time. We had some drinks, talked about some Warrior Nun, talked about soccer. They realized that Noe apparently just knows everyone.
Of course it does.
That they had known each other from soccer and apparently from France. Apparently,
An
they
Eiffel
were
Tower
all in
tour or
France,
something
an
crazy
Eiffel
like
Tower
that.
tour or something. They all went on this tour together. I don't know. So
Interesting.
very interesting. It's a small lesbian world,
Indeed. Well,
Yeah.
can I tell you my version of the story, please?
Sure.
First
Whatever.
of all, I had, we didn't organize it, so we had no control over the date and time.
No.
And my wife and I, Leah, my lovely Canadian bride, we had been invited to a friend's wedding about at least a month ago, and then
They couldn't move it.
no, we asked them to, and they said we can't move it.
Okay.
So I was very upset about that. I was bummed about it. I would have liked to have been there. I would have.
Is that like a thing you have to do when you're married? You have to go to weddings together? Is that
It is, Tara. You'll see.
something? Is that
You'll
not
see.
something you could have just been like, hey, I've got this other thing I got to do
Oh
today?
yeah, that would have gone over really well. I'm gonna go to a billboard. But listen, honey, you go without me, okay? Maybe I'll catch up with you,
You have
later.
fun, dear.
No, not gonna happen. I like being married, Tara.
Okay, we get it.
So anywho, I went to the wedding, but then the day before, I guess it would have been Friday. I work with somebody. Her name is Kendra. She's very fun. I enjoy her very much. We get along pretty well. She sent me a text. She's like, "Here's a non-work question. Do you have a podcast and are you going to a billboard thing or something?" And I was like,
Having
"What
met
are you-"
Kendra, I can see that question being asked. And
Yeah. And it took me a second. I'm like, what are you? Oh, yeah. I said, I do. Yes, I do have a podcast. I am not going to the billboard thing, but my friends are, and you have to tell them that I said hello and that I'm sorry I couldn't be there. So that was kind of fun. It was fun to find, again, small world. Didn't
Yeah.
realize that we were both into the same kinds of things. So
Yeah.
very, very fun.
No, Kendra was great. And I think there's going to be like a Warrior Nun watch party at some point. So you
Oh,
have
that's
to come to
fun.
that.
Like a marathon kind of?
Well, it's like a
Be a little
um,
party.
like a fun party.
All right. I like a fun party.
Yeah, come to that. If you're not busy with your wife, or your wife can come.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
Leah. She's lovely. Love her.
Oh, thank you. I thank you for saying that. 'Cause
We approve.
Sometimes I feel like you don't like her.
No, no, love her. I can separate how much you rub it in that you're married, separate from your actual wife. That's
I
very
see.
lovely,
I see. So you're saying Leah's
and
not
from
the
your
problem.
hateful rubbing it in from that. So, anyway, but it was a lot of fun, and
Well, and
yeah,
also,
we just got
yeah,
to meet a lot of cool people.
Banana
Mhm.
Cat was
Yeah,
there.
New snuppers.
Kat and Noe, they came out.
Yeah.
Love that.
It was so much fun.
Amazing.
It was so, not every day, but it was like shaking up. We got out of the house, went
that
to
was
Hollywood,
huge.
went to Billboard,
Wendy liked that
stood
part.
stood outside the Netflix building. I mean,
Anytime I leave the valley, it's an adventure.
like you don't get to do these things often in
No.
your life.
No.
Oh.
Like go just look at a billboard and
It was a nice billboard.
with strangers that
The
become
billboard-
friends.
The billboard
Yes.
did look great. You
They're
all
not
looked
strangers
great.
anymore. Thank
You
you.
had signs. You had shirts. It looked like
Yeah.
it was a very cool event.
Yeah, very well organized.
Of course, of course, we heard all about it. We knew the organizers were not messing around.
No,
The only thing that could have made it better is if someone from Netflix had walked out and said, "Okay, you win.
You got
we
it.
give up.
Yep.
We give up. We're gonna bring it back."
Calling
Yeah.
Simon.
Although
right
Netflix is
now.
being pretty stupid right now, so I hope someone good picks it up because Netflix is
yeah,
they're doing some dumb things. But anyway,
Yeah. Aren't
I
they
think-
all really? All the streamers seem to be doing dumb things.
yeah, that was such a great idea. Just go stream everything and pay a lot for it. Anywho,
Hey guys, you know what time it is?
no,
what?
It's time for the mail sack.
Whoa, nice.
finally,
We took a really long break.
Feels like
Yeah.
forever.
several
doesn't
day
it?
it?
break. They're getting to this mail sack.
Crazy.
All right,
Makes it
well,
extra nice, salty. Mm.
shall I begin?
Salty.
Okay, then. I'm going to start now with AK, whose subject title is Wurg.
Erg.
I don't know.
Word.
Morning, you mad bunch. I just got back from a week away. A few nights in a castle in Wales. It was kind of
Oh.
epic.
Ooh.
Very fitting for a night of Snop-a-Lot. And it snowed, so the whole thing was a beautiful, magical fairy tale. Sick now, though. Boo. Worth it, AK. I thought you might like an update on the Xena situation.
Yes,
I'm confined to the sofa with blankets and lemsips, and my Xenite was available, so we remote binged a couple of discs. Don't want her to catch this. We're about halfway through season 1 now. It was remarkably easy to just let it roll on, and I wondered why it felt so perfectly reasonable. I eventually realized it was because Xena is like an intense fever dream, and I was having those anyway. So the whole thing just seemed quite natural and acceptable in a mildly hallucinatory way. Who are all these random men Gabrielle keeps hooking up with? Xena's surprisingly tolerant.
Great question.
Oh, it was early in the
It's
relationship.
just a phase. That was her
and it was
straight
she was
phase.
still figuring out her life. Okay, feeling a bit better now, and just finished Willow. Excellent. I hope that was a promise of 2 more seasons to come. This is exactly the TV series I wish had been around when I was a kid. Swords and sorcery and queer heroes whose gender is quite irrelevant. Gotta say, I do love me a lesbian swordswoman, though Gideon the Ninth will forever be the archetype. I think they may have loosely based Borman on her. Fingers crossed for an
Oh.
epic movie adaptation at the very least.
Cool.
And now I accidentally binged season 1 of Only Murders in the Building just
Huh.
because you mentioned it. A bit queer too. Very acceptable representation where there could have easily have been none. And the whole makes wonderfully gentle sickbed watching with hilarious cameos. Wendy should love at least one of them. I'm a diehard nerd, and this had no aliens or dragons, and I still really liked it. So thanks for the heads up. Sorry, guys, got to sleep more now. AK and AK attached 2
Oh my
pictures
goodness.
of
Yeah.
what looks wow,
like a real medieval fairy tale castle.
yeah,
with snow.
with snow. I mean,
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It's castle porn.
It is castle
That
porn.
is beautiful. That is the snow and the castle. And,
And the
man.
doors opening, and it just feels
You can
like
see
you're
the
being swept
countryside
away.
up there.
Yeah.
There's
Pretty,
a little
pretty.
church steeple thing there.
So
Wow.
I'm curious. What is the cameo that AK thinks I should love?
There's a couple kind of sprinkled
Yeah.
in randomly.
Like, is
I
there a
can't-
particular actor or actress that I?
I can't think offhand
I mean,
who
do
it
you
would have
want
been.
Yeah, I can think of a couple, but not
I wonder if there was
specifically,
someone. I'm going to look it up and see if there's. I have.
I mean,
a
it's
feeling
not Amy
it's-
Acker. I can
Oh, well,
tell you
I
that.
know,
Amy Acker.
obviously, but I wonder if there's someone who was
I
on
mean,
POI.
If you're looking it up, Sting is in there.
Oh, I do love Sting.
Amy Schumer
Really?
shows
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Sting is on there. Yeah, that's right.
I do love me some
Random.
Sting.
I'm trying to think, is
All
there
right.
somebody else that we're missing, Tara? That's like
Yeah,
kind
I
of
feel like
obvious?
there's some really weird random ones. Yeah, I don't know. Sting. Maybe
Well,
it was Sting.
Maybe.
But
Is
there
it
are
Tina
some
Fey?
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey. Yes,
I'm
I'm just
big
looking
one.
to see if there's
definitely-
More than a
anybody
cameo.
that
She
She's,
kinda
yeah,
has
she's
a
more than a
jump out.
cameo though.
Okay.
She's like on the show.
Jane
in some
Lynch.
capacity.
Wow. There are
Mhm.
quite
Oh,
a few
that's
people that are.
right.
Yeah, that's right. Jane Lynch has a great part.
You're gonna like this, Wendy. It's so fun. It's
Jane Lynch
I
is
will
on it.
watch.
completely
I've
wacky but fun.
Yeah.
I've recently started another show that I will talk about later.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Tara
There's a
already knows what it is.
tease for you.
Here's a tease. I'm looking. Yeah, I might need a hint on this, AK.
All right. Maybe they'll tell us next time.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right. I've got one from Liz in LA.
Boy, do you have
Hey,
one.
Liz.
I have one, and I'm so nervous to read this one. It's in all caps. It is in response to our episode, the last episode or episode before last.
This is from, well, it's dated January 27th.
Yeah. So it's in response to my question, my ask for assistance to see if we had ever used the double entendre of, well, I'm just going to read it because I think it explains it quite well in here.
Perfect.
Yeah. Here we go. Again, it's all caps. All right. Subject regarding archival request 000001, the several and varied uses of, quote, mail/mail sack. Mail spelled MAIL/MALE sack. International She Nerds Out podcast, end quote, SNOP, archival request 000001, the several and varied uses of recurring double entendre mail/mail sack. Okay. And the specific, Tara Chadwick's utterance, I need a good sack in my life of the mail/mail variety. SNOP episode 187-ish. Last of Us and Save Warrior Nun, January 24th, 2023. Timestamp. 8 minutes,
Oh my
34
gosh.
seconds to 8 minutes and 40 seconds. At issue. Does the above utterance constitute the first ever usage of this particular phraseology with regards to the following recurring double entendre? 1. The word mail/mail, as spelled MAIL/MALE, existed as a homophone referring in the first instance to postal missives, in the second instance to one of the many and varied spectrum of gender and or sex constructs of which each of us may subscribe to whatever the fuck we want, and 2, the word sack existed as a homograph open to the interpretation as both a repository for postal missives as well as colloquial term for referring to the male scrotum, defined, for those unfamiliar, as the pouch of skin, quote, the pouch of skin that holds and protects the testicles, unquote.
Oh.
Citation, Gray's Anatomy, the anatomical basis of clinical practice, Dr. Henry
Amazing.
Gray, London, 1858. Triple asterisk. Official and incredibly honored SNOP archivist Liz in LA. See also Sir Elizabeth of Los Angeles finds, based on her prodigious memory of all things SNOP and also off the very tippy top of her head, that indeed this is the first ever employment of this particular and precise mail/mail sack phraseology.
Huh.
The International Stop Archives Research Department eagerly awaits archival request 000002. We are at your service.
Okay, you know what? Next year, Liz is looking up the Snoppy Award clips. Apparently, Liz has.
You know
Liz
what?
knows
That's
how
a
to find things. Liz, you're going to find
great-
all our Snoppy clips next year.
That is a great idea.
Just
Hand
pick them and
right
send them our way.
over. I have the second request. Liz, have we ever talked about or said the words male scrotum on the
Oh,
podcast
God.
before today? Or is it a first?
Ooh,
Let us know.
I don't feel like I've said it, but I don't know.
You
That's
never
great.
know.
I
Thank
don't
you for
know.
this. This is just really
That
feels very official.
Very official.
Very.
email.
Thank you, Liz.
Like it feels like
Wow.
it should be on with little cards that you get at the library, like that you
Yeah.
pull out of like a
The-
long drawer.
Do you mean the Dewey
little
Decimal
catalog?
System?
Yeah, like the catalog, and you pull it out.
Card
and it,
catalog.
like,
Oh, I
this,
loved
like,
looking through the
when you
card
print
catalog.
it on that.
I love it.
That's
Do they
how.
still have a card catalog, or is it all online? Or is it all computerized
I
now?
don't
I
know.
loved the card catalog.
Good
I feel like
question.
if I went to the
Mm.
one of the big LA libraries downtown, could probably find a card catalog
I
somewhere.
like
think so.
that. I hope that never goes away. I know it may be paper wasteful, but
Maybe
it's just
we
something about
have-
going through those cards.
Do we have any librarians listening right now? Let us know.
Yeah, is that
Ooh.
a thing?
Send us an email. Let us know. Card catalog still a thing?
I hope it's a thing.
Well, I got a thing, and it's called an email.
Mm.
And it's from Hildy. There's no subject. She says, "Hey guys, just wanted to give a shout out to The Last of Us. I have not played the game, but my partner has, and wanted to watch the show. I'm like Tara, not one for horror, but he was adamant that the story would be so good it would be worth it, and to give it a chance. And I'm glad I did. Episode 3, OMG, I am lost for words. And when the zombies/clickers are at bay, I find my pillow and cover my ears.
Same.
Same. Give it a try. The story is worth it. Keep on nerding. I will be listening, Hildy. And as always, Hildy
Oh my
assaults us with
gosh.
some beautiful photos. These are all winter scenes. She says it's the season to be cold.
Yes, it is.
And there's an incredible picture of just like this, looks like maybe like a little carriage house or a outbuilding of some kind, and some snowy covered trees, beautiful
Hildy.
snow covered hill there. And then we move down,
Yeah.
and it's her and her middle child out and
With
about
a
in the
nicely
dark,
reflective jacket.
Yeah.
hunting for a nice picture. Just a really cool photo. It's a night
Yeah.
shot, but there's a church and it's lit up and it looks incredible.
That church picture right there, like I
Yeah.
feel like I would, if I was there in that environment, I feel like it's probably very quiet and peaceful.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I would be in such my happy place right there.
And then you can see the hill in the background
Yeah.
and the stars in the sky.
Mm.
Yeah.
How?
You know what, Hildy? As of this recording, the day after we're recording this, it's going to be some places in the 80s in February in this town, and that hurts my heart so much. I want to be where the snow and the beauty is. Disgusting. And
I
it
want
makes
to
me
be where the
mad. It
snow
makes me
is.
mad.
Yeah.
Ugh,
too.
I envy your
sorry.
scenery, Hildy.
I'm
I
sorry,
do.
Hildy.
I do. Okay. Oh. Well, I'm going to read an email.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Maybe the shortest email I've ever read. From Catherine. Says, what ho?
I think this is the first time emailer.
I think it is.
Really?
I think so.
So I don't know if the subject got cut off, but it says, what ho? But
No,
anyway,
I think she's just calling us hoes.
I think she
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
not wrong. Okay. Catherine says, it's very accurate. It has come to my attention. Ooh, but Catherine knows because Catherine says, whilst having a nice cup of tea, that nightly courting has been witnessed. Is cross-regional fraternizing sanctioned by the overlords of Snop? Inquiring minds must know. Has there been
Uh-oh.
nightly courting? I guess
What-
it's sanctioned. Sure, go
what
ahead.
do we think she's talking about?
I don't know.
Does this mean
cross-
someone is like dating over the
Over the
email
snop?
message board?
Are we the
Cross
conduit?
regional fraternizing?
Yeah.
What's going on
maybe.
here? What's going on behind
it's
our
the-
backs
the
or in front of our
emails?
very eyes?
Nightly courting. So someone who's
Nightly.
in the nights of Snop-a-Lot is courting or being courted by perhaps another knight.
It's this sanctioned by the Overlord. So this is our decision if
It
we are
is.
allowing this.
I just wish I knew what the question
Yeah.
was.
Or who's doing it?
I feel like I'm okay with it. This Overlord of Snop, this is Tara. Hey, get on what you want to get on,
Or who you want to get
or
on.
whoever you want to get on or under,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Or on
whatever
top
y'all
of-
are up to.
Yeah, whatever you do is your
I love
thing.
it.
Yeah, I would, and this is Kat. This is Kat talking. And I would say,
Don't steal my thing.
I also, hey, Kat here. I would say that I also do. I sanction cross-regional fraternizing.
Wendy.
All right. Well, I guess it's official. I said yeah. Yes,
Oh.
it's official.
Okay.
Okay.
Have at it. Do what you got to do.
So there you go. You heard it here first. Have at it,
Have at it.
and maybe give us some more details so we can
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. Some
Right.
Juicy.
Yeah.
I
Some
mean-
juicy deets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you don't have to go like full fanfic level if you don't want,
Right.
but like, or do.
Or
I
you
don't
do
know.
want to, and that's fine too.
Interesting. That's fun. All right. I've got one from Alex, our friend Alex. Says, greetings, Snops. It's been a minute, but I was away for a bit, then came back to insanity at work. And although I did listen to the last 2 episodes during my travels, I did not have a chance to write in. So while I take a brief lunch, I thought I might as well send Wendy and Tara a big thank you for the much needed laughter caused by the 2023 Super Nintendo World Review, but mostly rant. I enjoyed that very much. And although it sounds chaotic, I'm going to have to move it up on my list of places to visit soon. I'm due for a trip back to Universal anyway. Oh, I almost ended my email, but I have one more thing. I'm glad you're watching The Last of Us and chatting about it. I'm also not big on scary stuff, but I'm looking forward to it since I first found out that it was filming here. Yes, there has been and there will be parts where I'll have to look away, but so far it's been okay. So I think you'll enjoy it, Tara. I'm also loving seeing my city and my province all over. Fun fact, I had the opportunity to be an extra, but due to COVID and my restrictions at work, I had to pass. I still regret that one, but hey, I had to be safe. Okay, I better get back to work. If you are going to the Warrior Nun meetup, have a blast and can't wait to see pictures. Alex. So Alex is, of course, she lives in Calgary.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that that's where Last of Us was. I guess I did maybe mention it in one of the last episodes that they had to make Kansas City look like Calgary or Calgary look like Kansas City or something like that.
Well, and there's another funny story to do with, Calgary, but we're going to be talking about an episode of Last of Us coming up, so I'll bring
That's
it up
true. A little later. What was I gonna say? God damn it, it's
there.
gone.
Well, I'll say this. I'm sorry you didn't get to be an extra. That would have been cool. I mean, what
Yeah.
if you would have been
That's
a fungal zombie thing or a
Ooh,
clicker
yeah.
Yeah, do you know what the scene was, Alex? Where
Yeah.
where you could have gone,
or maybe just a
to?
human walking around. Who
Right.
knows? There's a lot of humans in it too.
There are. Very cool.
It'd been cool to be in one of those scenes where you're like
Ooh,
getting
yeah.
eaten or just killed, or you're running
Yeah.
around screaming. That'd been fun.
That
You're in the
would've been-
QZ and you're laying there
Yeah.
like looking while somebody
Or
like,
maybe just a body in a pit.
feasts upon you. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Being eaten on by a fungal zombie. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
Sounds fun.
Oh well, I'm sorry it didn't work out.
I have an email.
Okay.
It's from Anne, and again, I think this is the first time emailer. It's not Anne Hicks
Uh-oh.
Bleecker.
Oh, it isn't.
No, 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 no. No, Anne does not email. she's above that.
She just jumps right in whenever she wants.
Exactly. So Anne writes, the subject is "Love this sticker," and then she says, "Thanks." And
It's a
that's it.
Snop-Tart
And
sticker.
it's a picture of a Snop Tart picture on the back of Anne's car. You can see the reflection. You can see half of Anne.
I see your shorts, Ann.
But look
Anne's
at
from
that.
Florida, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
In my Florida.
They
Oh,
drive
That's
a
so
Volkswagen.
cool. It's blue.
Nice.
That is
Look
a
at
good
that
looking sticker
sticker.
right there.
It is.
Looks
I
great.
like that.
Thank you, Anne. Thanks
That
for
looks
sharing.
good. Good looking sticker.
We love to see our merch and shirts and stickers out in the wild. So please, if you have at home, if you have your sticker somewhere proudly displayed in the world, we'd love to see it.
Yeah.
It's really fun. This is great. Thank you, man, for sending this.
All right. Well, I got an email from once again AK. This is like a week later because we saved some emails, so this is AK just didn't bombard us with 2 emails a week later. But the title of the email, the subject is called sack fondling. AK says, "Dudes, your sack talk will have distressed your more delicate listeners, and you know it."
First of all, pause. I'm distressed by the size of Kat's water bottle.
Wait, oh, I know, isn't it giant?
Did you mean this one?
It's a jug. It's not a bottle.
It's only a gallon size.
Oh my! Are you on a mission to drink water, Kat? 'Cause
No, my
that's-
more water,
God.
guys.
AK, if you could see the size of this bottle, you'd be distressed.
I'm trying to drink more water,
It's
guys.
bigger
Well,
than a
you're
human
succeeding.
torso.
It's big. Yeah, torso. It's as big as a
Easily
human
bigger than a
torso.
head. It's
It is-
bigger than
It's
some people's
far bigger than a
torsos.
head.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's
It is a
torso.
human torso.
That is
holy
torso
shit, That is
size.
human torso
Almost.
size. That's as big as Kat's torso.
Yeah, Kat's gonna have to step out in a minute to go to the bathroom.
Holy shit.
That's all
Okay.
No.
Anywho,
All right.
all right.
Go on. I was
AK
distressed. I couldn't
continues.
hold
That
it
is
in.
a stressful. I saw that earlier. It was ginormous.
It's normal. It's a normal size bottle. People use these now. I'm not the only one.
No,
Leah
no,
has
they-
one. My wife, who I'm married to.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
well, it's a couples thing. Okay.
That's
I
y'all's
get it.
thing.
Yeah, that's some kind of kink you guys have.
How dare you?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, AK continues. COVID has been kicking my arse, and I'm not quite up to my usual capacity.
Oh, no.
Haven't even spent that much time catching up on TV. Been doing a fair bit of sleeping, though, which is nice in a way. I did manage a couple more episodes of Xena. It was. No, I don't really know what to say.
Oh, no.
There are 2 Lucy Lawlesses in
it.
the ep I've got too, which you think would be twice the awesome, but unless I'm actually hallucinating, one of them seems to be profoundly irritating.
Oh, no. Is it
no,
Meg?
it's.
No, I
I
think it's
feel like the
probably
princess is first.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Or
forget
the
name
real
of that
princess.
episode. What is that episode? But
Poise Hestia.
Warrior princess.
Yeah.
Right.
That was priestess. That was
Oh,
the priestess.
okay.
You got Meg, the priestess, and the
Yeah.
I forget what the princess's name is.
I can't remember.
I've attempted to follow your suggestions regarding skipping bits and only watching the good bits, but it's not so easy to do unguided. That's because you have to watch the whole thing. Okay. I'm guessing that Xena threatening to kill her ex if he tries it on with Gabrielle is one of the quote important moments you mentioned that each early episode has. They're all important. AK.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Xena threatening to kill her ex if he tries it on with Gabrielle is one of the important moments. When does that happen?
Was it? I feel like there
who-
was. I feel like it was one of those random ones, like the one with where they were. Hang on.
I don't know. I feel like Xena has a lot of
It was one of
exes,
those
too.
where there was like
Does.
some former criminal ex that they were hanging out with. It was. Yeah, I think I know what AK's talking about, but I. Anywho,
All right.
We'll have to get back to you on that one.
yeah, I think I know what that is, but again, it's confusing. There's a lot of stuff happening in the first season that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Fistful of dinars, maybe? I don't know. I don't know where I was. Okay. But AK continues. So is Wendy going to be on TV? Okay, sorry, no good. I'm going back to sleep. AK. I think AK, you're referring to the Jeopardy thing.
No, Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
Did you put your application in,
No.
Wendy?
Wendy,
God,
update.
Wendy.
You know how
Wendy.
busy Wendy's been.
Oh, Wendy.
Diana, by the way, is the princess.
Diana.
Nice job.
I looked it up. I didn't think of it.
You could have lied.
Nah. I am
No.
good at lying, but not
No.
today. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's just you got to put a lot of effort in the audition tape, and I got stuff to do.
All that effort gets you every time.
Fair
Well,
enough.
Fair enough.
Well, I have an email. We're going out of order because we can do whatever we want.
Oh,
It's a loosey goosey kind of podcast.
It's loosey, guys. We're loosey goosey tonight, today, whenever. I have an email from Shira. We've met Shira a couple of times. Remember we met her at the
Oh, yeah,
retreat?
yeah.
and
Yes,
then
of
at
course.
the convention.
Very much I
Yes.
remember.
And Shira writes, "Did you get my package? Hi, Snob.
Package.
How are you? Did you receive the package I sent? This is all very stressful. I hope it made the long journey and didn't get soaked or flooded with the crazy weather you had at the end of the year. Following on from your previous snobs, I have a response to AK. In my opinion, watch Xena from season 1. Commit, don't skip. It's worth it."
Yeah. See?
Well,
There. Some encouragement. Okay.
AK disagrees. Briefly about TV series, I hope that the fight for the next season of Warrior Nun will be successful.
Successful.
Successful. I'm going to
welcome.
say that from now on.
Pretty sure it will be.
I mean,
Successful.
I think people do think hope it's successful.
Successful. Yeah. Yep.
Shira continues, I watched Willow. It was great. And from the previous podcast, it sounds like I should give it a chance and watch The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful week. Shira, by the way, I wanted to attach a picture, and I don't know which one, so I attached a picture from the coast in my city from the last time I was there. It's a beautiful beach with some,
Nice. Very
Nice.
pretty.
some sculptures there.
Yeah, are those
Yeah.
sculptures? I was trying to tell.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
So
I like to write justified email. It's different. I like it.
it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a change of pace.
So Shira sent this email, and I responded saying, actually, in fact, no, I haven't seen the package yet. And then she emailed back that it was being returned to her because it couldn't be delivered.
Oh,
No.
And it sucks. It was very stressful and upsetting. I said, okay, well, try sending it again, but use my home address. So I gave Shira, I trust Shira enough.
I'm pretty sure you're.
Yes.
She
Yes.
sent it. I feel very good about it. She sent it to my home address, and it made it. Guys, it's here.
Oh.
All the way from Israel.
Oh my
And I
god!
have not opened
Wow.
it. I've only opened the tape so that we're not sitting here for 5 minutes while I do that.
Okay.
But we're doing it. Here we go. You guys ready?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks it's a big box.
My goodness. Okay. There's a letter.
Oh.
Hey, Snob, how are you doing? I can't send you Israeli beer to try out, but I can send you some Israeli snacks for the She Nerds in bar. LOL.
Nice.
Hope everything arrived safely this time. I made a list of all the things I sent with a brief description. By the way, I tried the candy corn that you talked about in previous podcast. It was edible, but a little strange for me. Thank you,
That's
That's
Shira.
better
way
than
of
some
putting it.
people's reviews.
She's on my team. But
It
on the
was
other hand,
edible. A little
was
strange for
edible.
me.
But on the other hand, most of the gummies I bought in that store tasted a little different than what I'm used to. Waiting to hear what you think. Bon appetit and have a lovely day. Shira, oh my goodness. Shira has included
Is that a guide to the snacks?
Absolutely, a guide. It's a snack guide
With pictures.
with pictures and a short description of what everything is. This is incredible. So guys, we have lots of Bomba. Have you heard of Bomba?
La Bamba.
I've heard of it.
It's
Never
really
had
good.
it.
It's like a puffy, peanut buttery kind
Ooh.
of puffy thing. It's really good. There's a bunch of Bomba, which is so good.
La Bamba.
There's something called
No.
Basili Falafel.
Ooh.
There's onion flavored Basili. There's Bomba Nougat.
You know what we got? Super Bowl snacks.
I'm just gonna say,
Super
guess
Bowl
what
snacks,
we're eating
and I
on
got some from
Sunday.
Sue's still. We bring some from Sue's.
Perfect.
Super Bowl snacks.
There's pages and pages of
Wow.
stuff. There's also some candy. There's chocolate involved, guys.
I'm on.
Okay,
board.
well, this is
with
gonna
that.
be. We're gonna really be indulging on Super Bowl Sunday. Look at this. It's just a packet of just chocolates.
Israeli chocolate.
You mean
Guys,
Snopper
it's just
Bowl
like
Sunday?
bags and bags of stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
Just full chocolate bars.
She Nerds In is fully stocked.
I mean,
with
listen.
snacks.
Open
For a
for
long
business. This is
time.
amazing. Shira, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shira. This is awesome.
We're gonna give you our full taste test results, and I'm so glad it made it here safely. And thank you again for resending it. It's so sweet, and you're the
Can
best.
you imagine how much it costs to ship a package like a box like that from Israel?
I know.
I can't believe it got returned.
I know. I feel
know.
terrible.
Ugh.
I feel terrible. So, thank you so much, Shira. We really appreciate
Thank you, Shira.
and I can't wait we can't wait to dive into these snacks and let you know what we think. You're the best. Thank you.
Yum.
It's gonna be a big old taste testing day of Super Bowl, and
It is.
you know,
Yep.
It
All
is.
All right. Well, we also have some new beers to go along with that because somebody bought us 10 beers. Somebody, I say, because we don't know who.
What?
It says someone bought you 10 beers. Doesn't say who did. There's no notes.
Huh.
So we have an anonymous beer buyer.
Interesting.
Mm.
Now, I don't know that it's the same anonymous beer buyer from last year, but I love a mystery.
Yeah. So thank you, anonymous beer buyer. If you would like to communicate with us in any other way, leave a voicemail. I don't know. Can people leave an anonymous voicemail though? Are you required to put something in? You could disguise your voice.
You can do like a thing where you disguise it.
Yeah.
I
you could-
wouldn't know. This is the anonymous beer drink buyer.
You could do that, yeah.
Or
You
you could just have your normal voice.
you could,
Because we probably still wouldn't know who you are.
Yeah, you
Unless we know
wouldn't
you.
Yeah, right.
you could also just start a fake email account and send it to us.
Oh, right,
Just
right.
Send us an email, you know?
Anonymous beer buyer at gmail.com.
That's right. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Somehow.
You might have to be number 1 or 2 or whatever.
Right.
but-
Because there's so many out there.
Right. Right.
But wow, that's so fun and exciting, and thank you. And we'll be
Thank
thinking
you.
about you this weekend when we're drinking beers, watching
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're getting together for the Super Bowl. Kat invited us over.
Oh, look at that! Wow,
Woohoo.
Kat invited you over. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I knew that Golden Girls cut out would get me points. Get me an invite over this year.
Yeah, well played.
Yep,
This is
that's
my
the only
invite for the
reason.
year.
Look, they're right there. They'll be here. They'll be sitting with us.
So yeah, Snapper Bowl Sunday.
Snapper Bowl. We might record too. I think we should record too.
Oh yeah, I
That'd
think
be
we
fun.
should.
Live and in person. It's been a while.
I know. I missed y'all's in-person faces.
I know.
We just touch each other's faces,
We do.
sit next to each other.
It's not at all
Just do
uncomfortable.
this. Yeah,
It's nice.
just want to bask in your essence,
Oh,
your essences.
Oh.
It's all right. Leah can be there. Leah can be sitting there. God,
Okay, great. I'm sure she'd love to see it.
Who wouldn't?
She can take pictures.
who wouldn't? That's what I think.
Well, should we
Well-
dive into some Last of Us?
Speaking of gay,
I think we should.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's fun. The last time we recorded a podcast, at the end of it, we said, you know, we probably don't need to talk about The Last of Us every week. We can maybe like highlight, you know, talk about it when it's over, or if anything happens that merits discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So that Sunday night, I'm watching The Last of Us. I'd heard episode 3 was pretty good. And after it was over, I'm like, we might need to talk about this episode. And I'm like, nope, scratch that. We're talking about this episode because that episode 3, if you've not heard about what all went on in episode 3, then you're not on Twitter, because I went directly to Twitter after this episode and it was just full of people saying, oh my gosh, what did I just see? I don't know what to do with myself. I'm crying. I'm depressed. But I've seen one of the best episodes of television ever made.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of raving, you know. And a few days later, I can't believe you put gay people in a video game TV show. People came out of the woodwork.
Oh,
But that first night, it was all a lot of just, you know, I'm gutted. but
happiness. Yeah,
happiness combined with crying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
um,
This is Sarah.
Oh.
I had not watched
Sarah.
any episodes, and because I don't like scary movies or anything. So I hadn't watched any of Last of Us. So I had just watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, all right, because you guys have been saying, oh, this 3rd episode's supposed to be good. I don't know. I was like, all right. So I caught up, and then I remember making a snarky comment after we did talk. You know, we talked about Last of Us at length.
We did.
During the last,
went
yeah.
on and on about it.
And I said, oh, well, and making a joke. It's like, can we do a podcast anytime soon that's less than an hour and a half long? I said, maybe we don't need to talk about Last of Us every episode. It's not like, it's not all, I mean, I know the main character is going to be, is she's queer, like
Right.
she's going to, but, maybe we don't have to talk about it yet. Like it's not relevant to our show yet. We like dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, you were giving us a little bit
Little
of shit
snarky.
there. There was some
There's, like,
snark.
some snark, a little bit of snark there.
Mm.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right, now's a good time to get caught up because I've heard it's good. Yeah. And then as soon as, I picked up on little gayness starting to happen, and I was like, uh oh. So I think I've got a good recap here. Kind of want to go through it. I
Okay.
feel like
Oh,
this
we're
one.
going
I feel like
through
this
it,
It
huh?
one
merits. It
We're
merits.
diving in.
merits sort of a like, let's do a little play-by-play, right?
Oh my god.
I am curious, Kat. What was?
Oh, how quickly things have
yeah.
changed.
I am curious before we start, Kat. What was your feeling after it was over? Did you know what? Had you seen anything as far as like what the story was, or?
No, luckily I hadn't seen anything. I knew, like, I think you told us first, like, oh yeah, no, this is a good episode. We have to talk about it. It's relevant. And I knew that there was buzz. And so Monday morning I watched it because I
Oh.
knew if I went on Twitter or saw
Yeah.
anything accidentally, I'd be pissed. So I watched it while I was working. And there was a bit of a lull at work, so I watched the whole thing. And yeah, so I was pretty much unspoiled. I knew that Nick Offerman was in it. That was kind of it. And I knew that something big happened. So I'm assuming, I was like, okay, well, someone's going to die, but it's probably going to be Nick. I don't know. But it was, I was so pleasantly surprised. Like you said, Tara, like you kind of start to feel like, oh, where's this going? But no, of course it was great. I loved
Yeah.
it. Incredible
Okay.
performances. And
Yeah.
we'll get into it. But yeah, it was really
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
Let's recap.
Yes, of course. Nick Offerman guest stars in this episode as Bill, and then Murray Bartlett plays Frank, his partner. Had you seen Murray Bartlett in anything before?
You know what?
He looks familiar, but I
randomly watched just because I was bored one night. And I'm like, what's this White Lotus all about? So I watched like the
Oh,
first
right.
like few minutes, and apparently, and I saw him in that. I didn't realize at the time. I think when I watched that, I hadn't seen this episode yet, so I didn't know who. I was just like, oh, there's Jennifer Coolidge, whatever. And I literally maybe watched 10 minutes of it before I went on to something else, just because I was
Okay.
curious, even if they don't.
Yeah.
But before that, no, I hadn't.
And I'm looking at his.
He was on a
IMDb
soap
page.
for a long time. I can't remember which one.
What?
He's
Yeah,
been on a lot. Like he's worked
He's done a lot of things.
forever. But
I think
I've
White
never-
Lotus was what most people had
Yeah.
most recently seen him
Yeah.
on. But okay. So the third episode, it picks up with Ellie and Joel in present day. So they're outside. They're 10 miles west of Boston. They're out in the woods. They're having a little bit of banter. They're kind of setting out. They know they have to make it to, an old, I don't want to say friend, not a friend of Joel's, but an acquaintance or
Yeah.
a guy going to get supplies on their way to Wyoming. That's where they're going, right?
Mhm.
Ultimately.
I think so.
So Joel's familiar with Bill. That's where they're headed. And they pass some interesting things along the way. They pass like a downed plane. That was pretty
That was
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, but you can already see Joel's kind of like trying to keep her away from basically going over and seeing all the carnage there, and they have to basically go to this this place to get some supplies that he buried that Joel had buried before. It's like an old it was like a gas station or something. There's a Mortal 2 combat arcade like that little. She knows Mortal Kombat 2. She doesn't know how to put a seatbelt on,
right.
but she knows Mortal Kombat 2.
Knows how to play a cassette tape. Don't know how to
Right,
put a seatbelt on.
right. So anyway, while Joel's off looking for his stuff, she kind of wanders off, goes down into the dark basement as you
yeah.
do.
I know. I was good. Come on. Don't go to
Right.
Oh, what are
Right.
we doing
Whatever.
here? Why are we doing this?
And
Don't
she's like,
do
I'm
that.
gonna go
I know she
find-
lives, so whatever.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm gonna go find whatever they hasn't been picked over, right, at this like convenience store. And of course, she goes down to the dark hole. And guess what's down there, guys?
What?
a creepy cauliflower guy or whatever they're called
Oh,
or
weird.
whatever the
This
thing
guy.
Who would have
is.
saw
Yeah,
that coming?
this guy, but he's like buried
Not
under
one of
the
the
rubble.
clickers, I don't think. He had a face,
No.
but
Yeah, he had a face. But that's first time we kind of see that Ellie's just not. She's not really that scared after the initial shock.
I think I read something that like I don't know the game, I don't know what's coming up, but someone referred to like, oh, we see early hints of her dark side. So maybe she gets
Ooh,
pretty
interesting.
like the fact that she's her age and can walk up and just cut like the face of this weird zombie
Right,
thing shows
fair.
that
Oh,
she may do
interesting.
worse in the future. We'll see what happens.
Right,
But
right.
I don't know.
Cool.
I just that's
Okay.
what I read.
Yeah, so she's got her little knife, and this creature is trapped under the rubble, but it's definitely alive, but it can't like
Yeah.
get her. So she walks over. Cat is drinking a bottle. It's very distracting. So she goes over with this knife and
Scared
just
she's gonna
stabs him
drown.
like in the head,
Yeah.
and she takes some joy out of it. So anyway, then finds a box of tampons, hops back up, meets with
Yeah,
Joel.
'cause you need
speaks
those
none
things.
right. Speaks none of this thing that she's seen. Anyway, so that's just a little tidbit. They go on their merry way. They're walking, lots of walking. It's like, Lord of the Rings. There's just a lot of walking.
Just like that.
They come across eventually they this I don't know, like basically a pile of bones, right? They're
Yeah.
walking along this trail and Joel's like, don't look that way. And of course she looks and has to say, what happened here? And Joel explains that, well, at one time they basically told people, hey, get in these trucks. We're going to take you to the quarantine zone. But what they didn't tell them is if there's room in the quarantine zone, we'll take you there. If there's not room, we're just going to mass murder you. And then we just leave you all here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
But I like what
pretty
she
dark.
said. She's like, why can't they just let them be? He's like, because dead people don't turn into zombies. It's like that. So
Right.
Mm.
They
logically,
just-
it makes sense, but it's brutal
Right.
and cruel.
they can just leave them outside
Yeah.
the quarantine zone because then they can be turned.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a really, I don't want to say a nice transition because it's horrible,
Yeah.
but
Horrifying, but well done.
focuses
TV
in on
wise.
the skeleton in the rainbow blanket, or the blue blanket with the rainbows on it. And you're like, oh, it was like a baby or a dead baby or something, right? And then it kind of fades and transitions into an alive baby, and its mom in a very alive town, right?
Yeah.
And they're in the back of this truck, basically, with these soldiers saying, okay, everybody load up. And so, of course, it's like 20 years earlier now. Does everybody load up into the truck? So now we're back in 2003. I think it was 2002, 2003.
Somewhere around there.
Back in this town in Massachusetts. And so we get to see those people alive that were
Yeah.
buried. We
Thinking
know
they're
what
going
their
to
fate
freedom.
was. Right. And so they're being loaded up in this truck thinking they're going to the quarantine zone. But we know what's happened to them. But it was just a really interesting and depressing way to transition to that scene.
Well done.
And really well done, because then as they drive away and there's other soldiers doing sweeps across this small town, trying to round up everyone to get into these trucks, to load them up, to take them to safety, right, to save them. They're doing the final checks in this house, and it kind of, again, goes, subterranean. Underneath, you get to see this gentleman watching on his CCTV of them doing the sweeps, and he's like, not today, you fuckers, or whatever he says.
Fascist or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something
Something like
along
that.
those lines. But I think it even says, I don't know, one of these articles had the line, it was pretty great. But he is hiding in his bunker, and they do a sweep of his house, but they don't find him because he's a prepper.
Very clever thing. It's like a little, like a trunk or a dresser or something that the whole thing just moves like a trap door.
Very
Right.
cool.
Very clever. Yeah.
Yeah,
one
it
of
was
those.
very clever. It was, you have to like lift up the whole thing, and it's like a
Mhm.
full trap door. So, and then underneath he has a full setup of all his weapon, his arsenal. He's got everything he needs there. and he is all set. So he just waits them out for them to leave, for them to leave him alone, and he has the whole town to himself. And that's how we meet Bill. So that I just thought it was such a great way. He's basically outsmarted everyone, and we know where those people are going, what their fate will
Yeah,
be.
and good for him. He lived.
He knew what to do, man. He saw it coming.
Yeah. And so we get to see him in like this great montage of now he goes out, he's like free in his world. He goes out there, he does his little sweep, he goes out there with his gun, he's like checking around to make sure everybody's gone. And he's like, all right. And then he loads up his truck, hooks up his boat, and he goes to Home Depot and he starts
Of
shopping.
course.
He gets all his
Got a
supplies.
town
All
to
these
himself.
stores. Yeah, he's got the whole town to himself. All these stores are just open, full of supplies, right? I guess they didn't think to take much of that to the quarantine zones with them. So yeah, he's just going around town picking up what he needs. He goes home. He's like a gourmet cook. Apparently, he's
Yeah.
just cooking himself all these meals. So he's living the life. So then it kind of does some time jumps. So cuts to 4 years later. Then we're in 2007. Bill's still living pretty large in this town. He set up some traps. He's got like the whole town fenced off.
Yeah.
He's protected.
Pretty great.
He's got his camera systems up. He's living pretty comfortably. But then he gets an alert on a security system that one of his holes that he's dug has a visitor, has a trespasser.
Oh boy.
And so he goes out there, and there's a man in there named Frank. And Frank says, "Oh, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm just trying to get to Boston." And he says, "Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. The quarantine zone there, it's fallen. I'm just trying. I got lost. Can you let me out, please? I'm just trying to find my way." And Frank, of course, or Bill's, of course, like, "Yeah, right." Doesn't want to help him. So there's some back and forth. And in the back of my mind, at this point, okay, I've never watched the show. Or the game. I have no idea who these people are. I'm like, don't fucking help that guy. Leave him there to die.
He's gonna ruin everything.
He's going to ruin everything. He's going to shoot you. He's going to steal your guns.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, don't
Like, this
trust
is not going to go well.
No way. He's got like an army of guys behind him, right?
Yeah.
Or he's one of them. He's going to
a
freaking
trick.
kill you.
He's
It's a
gonna-
trick.
Yeah.
I was like, don't do it, Bill. I'm like, come on, you're smarter than this, Bill. You're about
Come
smarter
Come
than
on,
the whole
Ron Swanson.
Fedra.
Don't
Come on.
fall for this.
Yeah,
Bill.
Ron Swanson, you're better than this. So, but no, he helps him out of the hole. He gets him the ladder. And I'm like, oh, shit. He even has a thing that can check if he's infected. Frank's not infected. So you're like, okay, what is this Frank up to? What is he up to?
So far, so good.
So Bill's like, look, Boston's that way. Be gone. Be gone with you. Go.
Yeah.
Get out of here. And Frank's like, oh, I'm so hungry. If only I could get a meal.
Just a snack.
Oh, yeah, but you have so much food in there. Can I just come in for a meal? What's the big deal? And I'm like, this guy is up to something. Do not trust him.
You know what? At this point, I think I actually did think he's either gonna kill him or they're gonna like live their lives together or
kiss
something. Like I was
Well,
like,
yeah,
it's gonna
one
be
or the
one
other.
crazy extreme or the other. You know?
One or the other.
Yeah.
Most likely kill. It's like a horror show. I thought I
Right.
thought something terrible. I don't know.
Who knew what we were about to watch?
Right.
Nobody.
Yes. So, they, for some reason, Bill, I guess maybe he's just a little bit lonely at this point. And he's like, fine, you can come back. I'll get you a meal.
Oh, he's probably very lonely.
You can
He's-
shower.
He's a good guy. At the
Yeah.
end of the
He's-
day,
Yes, he's not as
He just doesn't want to die by someone
hard
who's
as
tricking
he
him.
thinks
Right.
he is. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
she said.
So Frank comes back. Frank takes a shower. I still feel like at this point Frank is about to murder him. Frank's up to something.
Still on the table.
Still on the
Was
table.
it because of the horrible wig?
Yes. So Frank
Very
Frank like comes out of the shower and Frank's like, oh, I feel so good. That shower was so great. He's like, oh, I'm so hungry. And then he sits down to eat, and then Bill like brings over this again gourmet meal. It's like
Yeah.
delicious.
Even
fucking
turns
looking.
the plate the correct
Yeah.
way. He's very particular.
He
So
turns the
good.
plate. It
That's
looks so-
Frank's
and-
first clue of like,
right.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank's like, what the hell? Like,
Who is
damn.
this
Okay.
guy?
Yeah. And so I don't know. I was still like, what is
He
going
picks
on
the proper
here?
wine.
Yeah,
to go
he
with the
picks
meal.
then he gets the wine out, and I was like, what's
Very
going on
elegantly
here?
pours
What is
it.
going on here?
Mhm.
And then after dinner,
Mm.
Frank's like, okay, I'm gonna go after this meal. I'm gonna go after this meal. Oh, but oh my God, is that piano? Is that a real whatever piano talk going on? Can I please? I promise I'll leave if I can just go play this piano.
Give him an inch.
Then I'll leave.
It's gonna
I'm like,
take a
don't
while.
fucking let him go play. That's the oldest trick in the book. He wants to play your fucking piano, and then he's gonna
That's
stab
the
you.
oldest trick in the book.
Everybody
Play
knows
their
the piano
piano when
trick.
you're
Oh,
in.
I just want to shower. I just want food. I just want to play the piano. Like he's gonna stab you, motherfucker. You're so dumb. And so I was just waiting for it. And so he goes over and he sits down and he's like, oh, and he picks up the little thing and he puts the music down. He's like, oh, this one, and it's Linda
Well, I'm guessing he
Ronstadt.
picked out Melissa. Linda Ronstadt's like song book, piano book,
Yeah.
and he's like, "This is you, like this one's yours." The rest of it, like, oh, it's your mom's music, but this
Yeah.
one's you.
Old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he starts to play it, Frank. And Bill's like, no.
Well, he's not,
Not
playing
that
it very
song. Not that
well.
song.
Yeah, he's not playing it
He's-
well. He's
kinda
like, no,
butchering it.
just stop.
Please stop.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do it.
You're ruining
Um,
it.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm gonna, and Frank's like, okay, then you do it. Like, why don't you just play it? And so Bill plays a song. So we get to hear Ron Swanson sing a little. It was so sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah, so it was just like good to hear. him
So
sing.
here's the thing. So I think it was the writer or director, or I think it was the writer. He could not find the right song, and so he finally texted his friend who like something to do with Broadway, but like apparently has a very vast library of songs in his head.
Amazing.
And he said, "I'm looking for a song of like unrequited love, yearning, that type of feel to a song." And he said, like within a minute, the guy wrote back, "It's like long time, Linda Ronstadt."
Wow.
And he listened to it and he's like, "Yep, that's it. That's the song." And and you have this Bill who, from what I gather, from what he says later, he had relations with like a girl in high school probably or college or something, but never met the guy, like, but loved men or a man, but never was able to act on any of that. So he had this whole long time yearning unrequited love song that was probably a big song to him. That, and then this dude sits down and starts playing it, and obviously Bill has played it, and the lyrics meant a lot to him. And Frank's like,
Yeah, because when Bill's done, Frank asks, Frank asks, who's the girl?
right.
who's this? What girl's this song about you're singing? And Frank says, oh, there isn't one.
There's
and
no
Frank
girl.
says, oh, I know there isn't.
Okay, I like how you interpret that. You tell those. It was much more. It's like, it was like, who's the girl? There is no girl. I know. It was a little more passionate.
Okay, it was
I know there's
emotional.
no girl.
The doy, you're gay.
It was very
You're so
compassionate.
And at this point, I was still like, oh my God, they're going to be gay together. Yes, they're going to be gay together. Or he's going to stab him. I was like, or he's tricking him. He's tricking him into thinking he's gay and that he likes him. And he's going to kill him. And how tragic would that be? Like if he's fooling him, he's trying to get him to think. And then I thought when they're leaning in, like when he's like, I know there's no girl. I swear to God, I thought,
Oh my God.
because it shot only them from the waist up.
Right.
I thought for sure it was going to be like they were leaning in and then like, you're going to see him like jolt, like he got stabbed. And then if that was the moment for me, I was like, okay, this is where it goes
The
one way
only
or the
thing
other.
is they weren't bringing Nick Offerman on to get killed in like 10 minutes.
Well, I don't
first
know.
10
Maybe
minutes.
there's
You never
like
know,
a whole
though. You
torture
never know.
thing and like he goes
my
crazy.
God.
That's true. Could have been
I
a
don't
torture
know.
scene.
There could have been a whole thing. I don't know who this Bill guy is.
Right.
He could have been like
Maybe
being
it's-
manipulated by this Frank guy the whole time. And
Well,
he's
maybe
like,
because
That's
it's
true.
like there's no way this is going to be a love story. This is a zombie show,
Right.
and it's
Right.
these two. Bill is this gruff, prepper guy. Like, no way, that's where this is going. So that's probably why you didn't see it coming.
Right.
Hey, you
No.
have unrequited love your whole life. You get gruff and cranky.
Yeah.
And you learn to just take care of your own damn self.
Yeah. And I did not see that. So that was the moment for me where I was like, okay, maybe we're safe now. There was no stabbing at that point. And then it like cuts to the bedroom.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, he
they're just
says-
like,
Well, they kiss,
yeah.
Mhm.
And there's no
said-
stabbing.
and Frank says, "Go take a shower."
Yeah. I love that.
That's so good.
Just go
Like,
take
oh,
a
okay.
shower.
We're doing this. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. Yeah, then they get to it.
Cut to the bedroom. But I like, and that's where they have that nice conversation, like, oh, yeah, like there was one girl in high school or something,
Mhm,
and then
yeah.
guys, and it never, like, yeah. So they have like a nice, and I like that they took the time to like put that conversation
Yeah,
in there.
I
And
didn't
It was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
It added a lot to who Bill was.
yeah.
You know, how he got to where he was in life.
And then I was thinking, oh, this is going to be really gay. This is great.
they
Love
got
this.
very gay very quickly.
Yeah. And then it cuts to 3 more years later, and Bill and Frank are now together, now partners. They're living together because
And they're
where else
fighting.
would they live?
It's perfect.
They're fighting, like,
Yeah, he's
anyone
fighting over like
could
he
be-
wants to. Frank wants to like spruce this place up, make it appealing. They're gonna live there. They want to have friends over. Blah blah blah. And Bill's like, Bill's like, against it. And he's like, I know. Something of resources, and they had a really funny line in there about something. Bill always saying that the government's a bunch of Nazis. Like, cause they are a bunch of the government is a bunch of Nazis. And Frank's like, yeah, now, but not then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
it just
also, like, what friends? We don't have friends. Like,
right.
what
And then
friends do we have?
cut to they're
Yeah.
having a nice lunch.
Well,
with
because
who?
Frank says at that point, well, in
yes.
fact,
that's true.
he's basically like, screw you. In fact, I've been talking to a nice woman on the radio.
I have a friend.
I have a friend. And Bill's like, what? So we're like, who's this woman on the radio? Cut to Joel and
And Tess.
Tess. Yeah. So
Having a
Tess
very
is the
nice
nice one
lunch.
on the
Having a
radio.
nice
And I love
dinner.
how Tess and Frank are, they're on the same wavelength, and Joel and Bill are just not trusting each other. Bill's got his freaking gun on the table.
Yeah.
Tess and Frank, they're going in the house to look at stuff. Joel and Bill are just still like,
Yeah. I love that you get to see de-age
same kind of
Tess.
people. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
De-age
she, was
Tess
a
and de-
she had a
Yeah.
rough bunch of years between then and
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah,
15
later.
years that
Yeah,
or
well-
like something like that. So then we also get that was your first glimpse at how long Joel and Tess had been
Mhm,
together too. So
right.
you really get
Long
that they've been
time.
together for like at
Long,
least
long
15
time.
That's a good
freaking
point. I didn't
years.
think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So because that was at least like 12 years, something like that. So yes, I really like that scene where they are talking at the dinner table and it's very tense between Joel and Bill. And Frank and Tess are having a good old time, and then Frank and Tess get up and leave, and they're like, "Oh, come look at let's go check out the flower." I don't know, they're going off to do something fun.
Something.
And Bill and Joel are still sitting there. They're like, "Oh, let's work out a trade. We can help each other and this and that." And Bill's like, "No way. I don't want nothing to do with you." And basically, at some point, Joel's like, "Man, I think I can help you, and you better get that fucking gun out of my fucking
Yeah.
face." It was just the way he said it cracked me up because the guy, he had the gun just pointed at him the whole time. He just is like, "And you better get that gun out of my fucking face."
As he's eating, he's still eating.
Yeah, he just worked it right into the conversation.
So he does. He's like, okay, fine. He takes it
He's
off
like,
the table.
"Oh, fine."
Fine.
Yeah. So yeah, so they do work in some trades, and they kind of
It was a
build
double
some
date.
trust.
It was really cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
mm-hmm.
It was. And yeah, so Joel does have some advice, basically saying, "Hey, you might be pretty good with these traps out here, but you might be able to fend off these people that are turned, right? But you're pretty soon going to have these raiders that are going to come.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to fend them off because you're fencers. It's been however many years, they're going to get worse. Maybe I can bring you some materials. We can work things out."
He's like, they're gonna come. They're gonna be silent. They're gonna come at night, and they're gonna be armed. I was like, we're fine.
Yeah. So, but then it cuts some more years, jumps forward some more to 2013. Now there's cars stacked in front of the fences. So to some degree, Bill has maybe listened out of either necessity because the fences are failing or just as an extra precaution. And they're jogging, and there's a really cute scene where they jog over to like a church, I don't know, some kind of area where there's a garden.
Something.
And Frank basically takes Bill to this garden and says, here, this is, from a trade that we did with, from Tess, I got these seeds, and he planted strawberries.
It's like I traded him for a gun. What gun? It's a
Yeah.
little one.
Yeah. Yeah, he trades a gun for strawberries. It's pretty great. But there's a great moment where Bill eats these strawberries and he does if you're familiar with the Ron Swanson laugh, it was not really cute. It was really
So cute.
Yeah. Yeah, just a laugh that
Which
he
has
does
an
that-
even funnier payoff later almost.
Yeah. So it was very cute.
Sweet
Very
moment.
cute scene.
Very
Yeah.
sweet moment.
So they just get to enjoy this like very
I think
simple thing.
That's where he had the line, I was never afraid until you came along, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and then later that night, perfect timing, the Raiders show up
The Raiders.
just as Bill
David Carr.
confesses that he was never afraid
Derek
till Frank
Carr,
shows
the
up.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Raider
Yeah, the
Nation.
Raiders. The Raiders.
The Raiders show up.
Yeah.
But
And
this doesn't go well, though. I
Yeah,
like how
but-
it did, like, Frank wakes up. It just has Frank waking up to, like, this
Yeah.
commotion going on. And he runs downstairs, realizes Bill's out there with his shotgun shooting at
Yeah.
him.
there's no cover. He could have probably
No.
threw
He's
just
some of those
standing there.
cars like
Just
right in the
standing
middle
there.
to give himself
Right.
some cover, like
was
in
weird.
case that.
That was
Yeah.
kind of weird. It wasn't very Bill-like.
Yeah, it seemed like Bill would have had a better plan on where to take a position in case such a thing had happened. He wouldn't have
Yeah.
just been out there in like his long stockings, like shooting
In the
Like-
middle of
Well,
the street.
I
in the
think
middle of the street.
He had his
Yeah.
he probably wasn't prepared, but he should have
I don't
taken
buy
Joel's
that he
advice.
wasn't
Yeah, it's
prepared.
true. He's been prepared for everything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he had been prepared.
Yeah,
Totally.
I feel like he would at least had some cover or a
Yeah,
plan
like a
where
little-
he would be standing. Yeah,
True.
or
Some
some
sort of-
armor that he would have thrown.
Yeah,
some
right.
kind of.
Yeah, body armor or something.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets shot. Shocker. And he's convinced he's gonna die. He's telling Frank, do this, do that. This is how you call Joel. He'll help you. And Frank's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. While he's, getting ready to stitch him up.
Yeah.
And Frank does manage to save him.
And I like
Um,
how you see that Bill, he may not like Joel, but he trusts Joel. He
Yeah.
respects Joel.
He does.
Yeah, he trusts Joel to take care of his man when he goes.
Yep.
And he says, "Call Joel.
Just call Joel."
Yeah. So
And then here we go.
cut
but
to
in
present
this-
day.
And this
Yeah.
transition is great. So we think Bill could be done.
Right.
Right? He's
Right.
on the table and it kind of fades out on Bill.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you see, it's a man sitting in a wheelchair on the front porch. And I think we're supposed to think that's Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Because last time we saw him, he got shot. He's probably been paralyzed. We have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
'Cause
it's
it's down.
actually, it's Frank.
Mhm.
But it's a great transition. Very, very well done. It was tricky.
Yep. It's 10 years
And
later.
effective.
Yes.
It has been a hard 10 years for those two because they're looking a lot different now.
They're older, but they're still here.
I know, but those first 10 years did not wear on him as much as these last 10 years did. So Frank, yes, is in a wheelchair. Clearly has some kind of cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of cancer.
I mean,
that
I don't think they ever
obviously-
say it, but that's
They never say
Definitely
specifically.
It's
what we're
implied.
supposed to
They're like,
think.
we need
Yeah.
an MRI machine, or that he's on some kind of medication. Yeah.
Right.
So, he's not able to walk on his own. He's taking a lot of pills.
He's painting, but it's, doesn't
Yeah.
not
can't
quite.
really
is
as-
painting.
do it. Yeah, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
His paintings are very good and
Still
yeah,
very good. Yeah.
yeah. But this last part takes place kind of on one day. So this last day, you see how much he's struggling. He can't even, to the point he can't even like open the bag of pills anymore. So the next morning he says, he tells Bill, I want you to give me this one last perfect day. And I want you to do that by basically, I want to get married to you. And then I want you to crush up all these pills and put them in my wine, basically asking him to kill him. And kind of put him out of his misery because he doesn't want to live like that anymore.
And he
And
wants to go to sleep in his arms.
right, go to sleep in your arms. And they kind of know at this point, they even have somewhat like a conversation about it. Like, what's the other option? In the way we live right now, it's not like I can go to the hospital. We can't, there's no traveling MRI machine that comes around to our town. And, there's no treatment for this. There's no alternative. So, and we have to assume that even this medicine that they're getting is from Joel and Tess, some things that they're bringing them, right, from the from the city.
Yep.
So,
By the way, the writer says they intentionally left his illness unclear.
okay,
Yeah.
So they have kind of like a montage of the things they're doing, walking around town, kind of having to stay
Set to
together.
very depressing music by the same man who scored The Leftovers. I'm just saying. And apparently the cut they used is from Arrival, I think, which I read. So, but yes, Max Richter.
Really?
He knows how to break your heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there's that. I mean, it was,
Very effective.
it was, you're wanting to watch them have this great day, but also you could feel, especially Bill's pain. Like, I don't want to enjoy. It's almost like I want to enjoy this. We're getting married, we're doing these things. I want to give him this last perfect day, but I know what I'm going to have to do later on.
Yeah.
And how it's going to end. So, they have their dinner, and Bill, just like the first night they met, Bill cooks him a fabulous meal. Same meal. It's very fucking sad because you know what's gonna happen.
It is. It's very sad.
And then they get to their wine, and Bill has a baggie full of powder. You assume like crushed up pills, and he dumps it like so that he can see that. Frank can see that he's dumping in all this into his wine glass, and he like kind of like almost comedically like mixes it up like here we go, I'm doing it. And then he has the open bottle of wine there, so he's poured the glass, he's mixed the pills, and he's given him the wine glass. And so then he's poured his own glass of wine. And then he sits back and watches Frank drink the glass of wine. Chug the wine. So
he downs it.
Yeah, he downs it. And then, Frank's like, all right, I'm, thank you for doing that. And then we have Bill is like, yeah, no problem. And then Bill goes and he chugs his glass of wine.
Yeah. And Nick Offerman was saying that he loved that basically you're telling the audience that Bill's doing the same thing just by the way he drinks his wine.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he drank it in the same fashion. He's like, I love that tells everything you need to know about what he's doing.
Yeah. And then Frank's like, you had already put all the pills in that wine bottle, didn't you? And Bill's like, yep, I did.
Enough to kill a horse.
Enough to kill a horse. So at that point, they realize they're both now going to die.
Well, and he says, and he's like, this is not some tragic tale. Like, I've lived a life. I'm done. You were my purpose.
Yeah.
He was at peace with it. And you just wonder whenever Frank told him what he wanted him to do. Right. He's like, do you love me? Then love me the way I want you to. But then at what point did Bill decide, you know what? I don't want to be here without him. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you've been alone, like Bill had been in life, and you find like freakish pandemic, whatever, zombie apocalypse, you find this man that you find your purpose in life. It's like, you don't go back to being alone, I don't think.
Yeah, right. Into that life. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they say, all right, take me to bed. And they go to bed. And then they
just kind of shows him wheeling him down the hall.
Yeah.
Back to the bedroom.
Down the hall toward the bedroom. And that's that. So then it cuts to Joel and Ellie arriving at the town, they enter his home. It's still kind of unclear like how long after it is, but not too long.
Yeah, you see like dust on the table.
Well, yeah, like
dead
you
flowers.
learn later about how long it is,
Yeah.
but like it's not that long.
Right. It's
So
not years.
right, no, it's soon after, but yeah. But then they find Ellie finds the envelope, and there is a truck key inside, and a note. And she decides she reads this note aloud to Joel. The note is very interesting. So there's a lot to be said in there. So basically saying Bill's telling Joel he hated humanity, but found love again and something to fight for. And then it really hits home because Bill basically says, hey, if you have something willing to fight for, basically, protect Tess, and that really gets Joel because at this point, Tess, the episode before this has just died.
He wasn't able to do that.
And we had learned in this episode just how long they've been together. Basically almost as long as Joel and Frank and Bill. So.
Yeah.
I did like there was some line where he made a little joke and then Ellie reads out the laughter from Bill, especially after hearing the giggle. And she, obviously he put he, and she's like, and in a very depressing episode, that was hysterical.
That was really cracking up. And it was perfect
Just the way she
because
read it,
you
too.
can imagine how he was laughing.
Totally.
Yeah.
His Ron Swanson laugh. Totally. That was a nice touch. But you realize at this point that they're finally going to get their truck, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like
And a crap
Bill
ton of
is
guns.
saving them from the grave.
Right.
And a fuck ton of guns. They have all the supplies they need. Bill tells them basically take whatever they need. And Bill also says, don't go in the bedroom. It's got to be a mess in there.
Left the
We
window open.
We left the window open.
Boy, did they.
Yeah. So, it just, shows them grabbing the stuff.
Ellie finds a gun. Ellie's got a
yeah.
Come
gun.
on, Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie.
You haven't watched
she just
episode
grabs
4
the
yet,
gun.
right, Kat? It's fine.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
It's
Without
fine.
telling Joel, she takes the gun, of course. Just puts it in her bag for later.
Thank goodness she did. That's all I'm
Yes.
saying.
Okay.
So,
It's all good.
yeah. And then the episode ends on the two
Okay.
of them going out of town. And
Let me tell you how the episode ends.
Oh, okay.
I've
All right. What
watched
is you going
it-
to tell us?
A dozen times.
Aw.
Oh,
They get in the. I think the final bit of the episode is what I love about this. They get in the truck, and Ellie's freaking out. She's like, "It's like a spaceship," and she's playing with her rearview mirrors, blah blah blah. And he's like, "Seatbelt," and she just looks at him. And so he reaches over. He's like, she doesn't know what a seatbelt is. Pulls a seatbelt. Immediately, she finds a cassette tape in the glove compartment, and he's like, "Put it back. Put it back. Now, put it back." She sticks it in. The music starts. And then she reaches like, all right, I'll turn it off. He's like, no. And I love that they added this little bit because it's Linda Ronstadt, long time. And I love, he's like, no, leave it. That's good stuff. That's Linda Ronstadt. And I love that he was so excited. He's like, that's Linda Ronstadt. He's like, do you know who Linda Ronstadt is? She's like, no, I don't know who Linda Ronstadt is. And then they kind of have this moment where, he's like, oh man. She's like, well, it's better than nothing. I think, which is a line from the video game. Pull up to the gate. And he kind of laughs at that. They pull up. Cuts to the looking towards them from the outside the gate. They drive through. The music goes from just being in the truck to full. And I think I'm gonna. The song's killing me. They're driving off. Cut to shot out the open freaking window,
Yeah.
which I have a question about. But anyway, cuts to that. Looking out, you see them driving off. It's pulling back into the house through the window, and the song's playing. Like that's the window in the room with the dead.
and they're just dead right there together.
yeah.
But
holding
here's my
each other.
question.
Yeah.
I do have
Yeah.
one question about that. It was very obvious he wheeled Frank to a room on the first floor.
I have
That
the same
shot was
question.
very much out of second floor
I had the
window.
same question.
Was that supposed to be the actual window? Because all of a sudden it's on the second floor. That was my only question.
Yeah.
And I know it's like a better angle shooting down at the truck leaving, but they obviously had a bedroom on the first floor, unless they made a pit stop on the way up the stairs. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how Bill is carrying Frank up the stairs.
Yeah. So,
So,
but other than that,
let's
it
just
was
let him have. We're just gonna let
Well,
him have this one.
you can have the
Bill
moment.
built a lift.
Okay,
room.
that's where they're going to the
Oh.
elevator. I'll take that. I'll buy it. I'll take
Okay,
it.
that's feasible.
But the ending, I cannot tell you how many times I watched the ending.
Hmm.
The night of his, okay, I watched it on a Sunday night. I literally could not sleep. I think I got like 3
Aw.
hours of sleep that night because it was just that whole like, I've just seen an amazing episode.
Mm.
You're gutted from just the story itself. Freaking download Linda Ronstadt, long time, watching it on the YouTube, playing on the thing, rewatching the end. I mean, it was just one of those when you've just seen an episode of TV that's so good, you're just like, oh my gosh, you just love what TV can be
Yeah.
when it's done right. And then even the next day, like I have not been. It reminded me of when I watched If Then Else from POI, but I was depressed for like a week. But this one, like even that next morning, I was just like, God, that was so good, and it was just so depressing. I'm listening to the song. It was just so surprising, and with Nick Offerman, I read that like he had a potential scheduling conflict. I think he was going to do this, but there's a reason he didn't know if he was going to be able to do it, and he got the script, and he's like, Megan, Mullally, wife, he gave her the script. Like, what do you think? And she read the script. She's like, well, have fun in Calgary or something like you're going to Canada, something to that effect. Like, dude, you're doing this. This is amazing. So hence he went and played Bill. But
I'm so glad he did.
so good. I mean, he was brilliant. What's his name? What's the other guy's name?
Murray.
He was amazingly good. The whole episode just had even the Ellie and Joel stuff after, like I said, it was just the moments with them were great. The ending with them driving off was so nice.
Yeah, all the transitions were really cool, and the way they went back and forth at the time was well done.
It was really well done.
Really well.
Solid
So
episode
good.
of television.
It was hard it was one of those episodes you're like, this is as good as TV gets. This is one of the
People are talking about at least one of these two leads should get nominated for guest star Emmy.
No, that's a given. They should win. Like if one of these people don't win, Murray was great, but to me, like Nick freaking Offerman, I just loved him. I'm watching Parks and Rec finally because of him. And I watched an interview. They played a funny little clip for Ron, and I always know, like I love so many people on that show, and I always thought I would like it if I finally dove in and watched the whole thing. So I'm doing it now.
That's great. It's a good watch.
I want to watch me some Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler. But anyway, it was. So yeah, so a week or so after we decided not to talk about The Last of Us every week, we spent a whole episode on The Last of Us because it deserved it.
It's good. And the a friend of mine who's also named Kat. Hi, Kat.
Who isn't? No.
There's so many cats. Not
Cat
Banana
Burrell?
Cat.
You're talking
No,
about Cat Burrell?
Not Cat Burrell. Not Banana Cat. This is a different cat. She played the video game. There's actually 2 video games. There's a sequel. She's played them both.
Which they are making the sequel
They
on
are
HBO.
for season 2, which is really exciting.
Yes.
And she kind of told me how Bill's story is very different when you meet him in the game. Frank is already gone.
He hung himself.
Yeah,
the
there's a
game.
whole thing. And how cool it is for the creator of the video game to be able to let stuff go
Yeah.
and just want to make the show good on its own and not getting tied up into, well, no, because Frank was already, we can't, like, good for him for being like, yeah, let's just make some good TV. You know what I mean?
So the creator of the game was okay with this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I think he's listed as one of the producers, I think.
Good.
all
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neil Druckmann.
Nice.
He created the game, and he's also one of the creators of the show. But of course, people are really upset because it's deviating from the game. Well, it's not
Whatever.
a game.
Get
Who
over it.
cares? Let it go play the game. Let the show be its own thing.
Right.
One of the ways, because I guess in the game, Bill refers to Frank as his partner, but didn't necessarily elaborate. But then they had a scene which Ellie finds in the truck. She finds a men's gay bear magazine type of thing.
Yeah.
And she's looking at oh my God, and looking through it in the back. And it's like, why are the pages stuck together? And that's when you realize Bill was,
oh boy.
you'll see that next episode. They
Yeah.
actually did. And I saw a
They
video
did. They made it in the
comparison.
next episode.
And it's pretty shot for shot almost.
That's
Like
awesome.
they took it directly from the game.
That's
But
fantastic.
they still left it in there. Yeah, it's so I can't even say enough just how good the whole thing was. And this show is just and the next episode is great too. I mean, it's just freaking
Awesome.
Melanie Linsky shows up, man.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
It is just
I
this
like Melanie
show's
Linsky.
very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's good. You'll
But
like
I did
her
have a
or
lot of
hate her
a
or
lot
like
of
her,
times I
don't know.
thought as I was watching this episode of these guys kissing and about to have sex, and it's like, oh man, there's so many gamer boys sitting around
Yeah.
sitting around for the Last of Us show watching groups like, what the fuck is this, bro? What
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
is this shit? I'm
Oh,
like, oh,
you
this is so
know.
great. You guys
So
haven't
good.
watched this.
I love it.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Deal with
That's,
it.
Yeah.
That's great.
They're all sitting, it's like there's so many parties going on for this. Just
Yeah.
like, right.
Get the
And, I mean,
Doritos ready, get some
watching-
Mountain Dew.
And like it
Freaking
kept
Ron
coming like,
Swanson
right.
doing
Like-
it with a guy.
It was just all,
This
the whole
beautiful
thing.
love
It
story.
was a beautiful love story.
Between two men
My God.
Finding
Yeah.
love in a zombie apocalypse.
being
So
gay
I'm glad they
together.
got a little culture, like, come on. Even if it was
He was a
basically-
tough dude, survivalist man. They're
Yeah.
probably, I can just to see they were watching, like, all right, man, we get Bill. He's a badass. I'm like,
He's a prepper.
what's happening?
What the fuck's wrong
Whoa.
with Bill?
Oh wait, we have to actually see him be gay. Ugh.
Yes, you do.
Very, very gay.
Yep.
Pretty good.
So-
Pretty good.
Yeah, who knew? I mean, I remember hearing about
not
Last of Us
Tara.
when they were making it, but it's never
Sure
thought it
thought
would be
he
as
was
good
gonna
as
stab.
this. Oh, by the way, if y'all haven't watched the Saturday Night Live, because Peter Pascal was on it, have you watched the Mario Kart?
I have.
It's flipping hysterical.
It's very
They
funny.
give it the Last of Us treatment.
It's very good.
So if you haven't watched the clip from SNL of HBO's version of Mario Kart, you got to go watch it. It's very funny.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, thus ends our. We probably won't talk Last of Us next week. I mean, but who knows? We
Okay.
weren't going to do it this time either. But you
Not as
gotta do
in
what you
depth,
gotta
that's
do.
for sure.
Not as in depth, no. But anyway, well, one of us has to go to bed, so I'm going to sign us off now.
It's Wendy. Wendy has to go to bed.
I have to
Close
get up
bedtime.
in just over 6 hours. Anyway, we're on Twitter. That's not podcast with Wendy.
And Facebook and Instagram at She Nerds Out Podcast.
You can send us an email at shenerds@gmail.com or go to our website, shenerds.out.com, for all your snopping needs. You can buy us a beer, check out our merch, and send us a voicemail. And you can tell us what we're going to ask people to do. Oh, if you're the mystery beer
beer?
buyer, you can send us a voicemail and we can try to decode your message.
Give us a hint.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna love you for a long time. She nerds out.
Out. You should have kept going, Wendy.
No.
She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things.